The James Show Podcast.
You know, I know Austin's got to be Austin. I get it. But I think I'm going to tell you the story backwards because, I don't know, I went back and forth when I was prepping the show. It's like, well, do I play you the Austin report first and then make you guess what's not mentioned? Or do I play you the New York Post version first so you obviously hear what the Austin version is skipping over? And adding to, there's a little bit of both. So I think I'm gonna not do the curtain reveal. I'll do the New York Post story first, and then I want you to listen to all the things that you learn here about the terrorist. Clearly, it's a terrorist. I mean, duh. And see how much of it they leave out of the Austin report. This is New York Post.
New disturbing details are emerging about the murderous gunman who shot up a Texas bar in a possible act of terrorism that left 2 victims dead. From the disturbed killer's motive, possibly being linked to vengeance over the U.S. attack on Iran, to revelations about the gunman's criminal past. Here's everything we know so far about Austin mass shooter Ngiaga Gianni. The 53-year-old Senegalese national who could be seen during the rampage wearing a shirt that read "Property of Allah" may have been motivated by the joint attack by Israel and the U.S. on Iran, law enforcement sources have said, as officials investigate the possible act of terrorism.
Obviously, it's still way too early in the process to determine an exact motivation, but there were indicators that on the subject and in his vehicle that indicate potential nexus to terrorism.
After Gianni was shot dead by Austin police officers, a search warrant executed at his home revealed an Iranian flag and pictures of Iranian leaders, sources with direct knowledge told CBS News. In a gruesome photo obtained by CBS News, the deceased gunman can be seen sprawled out wearing a gray undershirt emblazoned with the letters of Iran in the green, white, and red of the Islamic Republic's flag. A Quran was also found in his car, the Post previously revealed.
All right, did you hear all these details? He was wearing the Allah sweatshirt, the Iranian t-shirt under it. The Iranian flag was found at his house. There were pictures of Iranian leaders on the wall at his house. There was a Quran in the car. Did you get all that? He was an immigrant from Senegal. Did you get all that? Now let's go to the fantasy report from Austin. And jeepers, guys, they'll say that, well, there's been claims or a hint that there may be a terrorism, but we may never get to the bottom of this mystery and actually know what caused it.
First, confusion. Then panic. Within seconds, police taking down the suspect. In the hours since, a massive investigation into motive, an attack the FBI calls possible terrorism.
Any declarations on what led to that motive would be premature.
The FBI now interviewing friends, acquaintances, anyone who knew the alleged shooter, 53-year-old Ngiaga Gianni. A criminologist says the FBI is looking for proof, maybe in writing or in a video or from someone who spoke with Gianni, exactly what his mindset was, before they say with certainty what his motive was.
Teresa, what have you learned about the weapons involved?
Cynthia, the Austin police chief says the shooter used 2 guns. One was a pistol, the other a rifle. She also says the shooter legally purchased those weapons in San Antonio back in 2017. We'll send it back to you.
Wow. So you didn't hear that it was an immigrant. You didn't hear that he was from Senegal. They were looking for proof of where his mindset's at so we could have a possible motive. So you're looking for proof as if there's no proof. And you use the clip where they said we can't know for sure, not the part where he says there's a clear nexus to terrorism. You're looking for proof of a motive? Hello? You don't think the Allah sweatshirt, property of Allah sweatshirt indicates a motive? You don't think the Iranian shirt under it said Iran and it had an Iranian flag on it, the Muslim version, not the lion version? You don't think that's some proof of a possible motive? That didn't give you any idea where his head was at? He's wearing an Iranian shirt within 24 hours of finding out that we're bombing Iran. He's wearing a property of Allah shirt over that. So clearly, he's a pro-Iranian, very proud Muslim. He has the Iranian flag at his house. What do you think? He was a Methodist with a grudge? Is that what you think? oh, gee, we may never get to the bottom of this mystery. No, you don't want to get to the bottom of this mystery. You're pretending to not see the evidence that you see. You're definitely not reporting it. You're not talking about the Iranian leader's pictures at his house or the Iranian flag. You're not talking, they didn't mention the Quran in his car. But you did get to hear the audio of the gunshots. So, ooh, guns are scary. And then you got all kinds of info on the guns. They don't even know what kind of guns they are. They just said, oh, well, one was a pistol and one was a rifle. Okay, so you don't know anything about them? Well, we know they were legally purchased in San Antonio. Oh, well. I mean, you listen to their report, you walk away, and small-minded automatons are thinking, boy, we've got to do something about those scary guns. You listen to the New York Post version, or the real version, you walk away with the idea of, man, we need to do something about angry Muslim immigrants. Two completely different worlds these people are living in. And that's what it looks like when they try and report on the same story, but they're not allowed to tell you the truth. They're not allowed to go against the narrative. If you're a reporter and you left out the Iranian flag at his house that they found, the Iranian leaders on the wall, the Quran in his car, the Allah sweatshirt, the Iranian sweatshirt, and you're like, jeepers, we may never find a motive. You're not just a terrible reporter. You're incredibly dishonest. The dastardly part of the report, the reporting that we got out of the TV station in Austin, and I don't want to name names and burn bridges and slander people. I'm not here to get anyone fired or get anyone in trouble. I just want to show you what the rest of the world sees, or really what they don't see. They're not as informed as you. If this was an honest report, how would that change some of the conversations we're having right now in America and specifically in Texas? Would people be more or less likely to want to shut down third world immigration? Would they be more or less likely to tolerate Sharia compliant cities being built, compounds in Texas? Would they be more or less suspicious of people who do not share our religious traditions? So, and I'm going to play this report again from Austin. And for those of you people just joining us, here's a few things you're not going to hear. I played the New York Post report where they reported all this other stuff about the guy in the same amount of time, where they reported that he was wearing a shirt that said property of Allah. He's wearing a sweatshirt that said property of Allah. He was seen. There's a picture of it. I saw it with my own eyes. The shirt he had on under it said Iran with the Iranian flag. So you'd think he has Iran on his mind. You would think he has religion somewhere in the front part of his brain. And then at his house, he had the Iranian flag. He had pictures of Iranian leaders, plural. Name an Iranian leader besides Ayatollah Khomeini. Yeah, I don't know one either. He has pictures of them in his house. He had a Quran in his car. He's an immigrant from Senegal, from third world Muslim country. They don't mention any of that in the Austin report. But you do get to hear the scary gunshots. You do get possible terrorism. We're looking for proof of a motive. Dude, he's wearing it. He's got it in his car. He's got it on the walls around the house. This has to be really frustrating for this guy's ghost. The ghost of this guy. Remember, this guy from Senegal, he wanted to go shoot up some people in Austin and cause a whole bunch of terror for the righteous cause of Muslims being attacked. And we're acting like, well, we don't know what his motive is. That's got to tick him off. He's like, no, I was wearing it. Come on, aren't you supposed to be scared of me now? I'm wearing the shirt. I'm wearing two of the shirts. I got a Quran in my car. Come on, I left all the breadcrumbs possible. Don't act like you don't know about this. Anyway, here's the report with all the omissions.
First, confusion. Then panic. Within seconds, police taking down the suspect. In the hours since, a massive investigation into motive, an attack the FBI calls possible terrorism.
Any declarations on what led to that motive would be premature.
The FBI now interviewing friends, acquaintances, anyone who knew the alleged shooter, 53-year-old Jaga Jagné. A criminologist says the FBI is looking for proof, maybe in writing or in a video or from someone who spoke with Jagné, exactly what his mindset was before they say with certainty what his motive was.
Teresa, what have you learned about the weapons involved?
Cynthia, the Austin police chief says the shooter used two guns. One was a pistol, the other a rifle. She also says the shooter legally purchased those weapons in San Antonio back in 2017. We'll send it back to you.
Jeepers, we may never find the motive. Remember, they know the motive of Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad is literally Hitler. They can see through all the facade and read the tea leaves and have the nuance of the minute details. They're like, well, look, she's talking about jeans just like Hitler did. But on this one, the guy's wearing 2 shirts that point to the motive. He has the flag, he has the Quran, and they're like, oh, I don't know what this could be. You guys are the worst detectives ever. You're like Inspector Gadget without the gadgets. You're just running into walls. You're like Joe Biden right now, just breathing out of your mouth, running into walls. Yeah, Joe Biden when he was president, he's probably worse now. Man, he did a speech last week. I swear, it almost looks like he's an animatronic puppet, like when you went to Showbiz Pizza Place, or when didn't they have the ones like the Five Nights at Freddy's looking thing at Crystal? Remember Crystal Pizza? Hall of Presidents, yeah, right? He looks like a wax museum figure. But think of how dastardly this is. Because you and I are right now trying to get small-minded, less-informed people to understand why it's dangerous letting hordes of third world people in here, especially from the Muslim world. There's a terrible pattern that we recognize here of violence, of crime, of fraud, the Leering Center, all the way down to getting shot on 6th Street in Austin. How on earth are we having an honest discussion if they're leaving all this out? How on earth do we leave this stuff out, but we have Wiley East handing out hijabs in high school? Are you insane? How do they fight against anything that is Christian in the public sphere, but excuse this, fight for this, cover for it? You think if he was wearing a Jesus Save shirt, that would come up in the report? You think if he was wearing a U.S. Constitution shirt or an American flag shirt or a Donald Trump shirt or a MAGA shirt, do you think that would come up? And it's not just that you're being slandered. It's not just that they're covering for violence. It's not just that they're, exploiting and dismissing the slaughter of our own neighbors while they're covering for these people. It's that it's getting people killed. It's not funny anymore. It's not just being wrong anymore. There's going to be a point to where the violence keeps coming and it keeps coming and it keeps coming. We can either reverse this now or expect more in the future. Martin and Euless, you're on WBAP.
Hey, James, I think you're being a little too hard on the media I know this is going to be hard to believe, but they actually are improving. A year ago, this story would have started out with a white man wearing a red MAGA hat goes into Austin bar, kills people.
Right.
And then 3 days later, we would have found it would have been Abadu or whatever his name is. So you got to kind of give them credit. I mean, they left out a bunch of details, but at least the guy wasn't wearing a red MAGA hat to begin with.
Yeah, they deserve a little bit of credit for getting better, because that comes up on the James Show every once in a while, too, how much better Democrats have gotten since, like, our grandparents were kids and whatnot, because we think Democrats are bad now. They used to lynch people. They used to burn crosses in your yard if you ticked them off. Now they go loot the local Foot Locker, and since I don't own a Foot Locker, I'm pretty well safe from their shenanigans.
Well, yeah, but they destroy Tesla dealerships and Tesla cars.
Yeah.
Most of their, customers happen to be Democrats. But anyway, it's a little complicated at times. Anyway.
And then, it's also like they still want to build segregated, like racially segregated facilities. Like they used to make blacks go to a different bathroom or ride in a different train car, sit in a different part of the restaurant. Now they want to have like the Black Student Center, like the Black Student Union or the Multicultural Center downtown or something. So they're still doing the racially segregated the activities and programs here. They're just a lot nicer about it. I'll say that. Yeah. It's a more benevolent form of racism, what they got going on.
I mean, they wanted to have all black proms and all black graduations and stuff, I believe, last year.
Well, no, they're still doing that, and then they have the all black award show. They got the Image Awards on BET, and I've never even been nominated for one of those, Martin. It's the damnedest thing.
I know it.
Everyone who wins a BET Awards black. Isn't that weird? Isn't that kind of? All right, thank you very much.
The James Show Podcast.